My name's Jim Cameron. I'm a local Cranbrook historian, and this is a Cranbrook History Short. I'm standing on the corner of Van Horn Street and Baker Street here in Cranbrook. It's busy today, a lot of cars going by. In August of 1926, it would have been a lot of elephants going by. I know that sounds strange, but that is the day that the circus came to town and stayed a little longer than anyone imagined. The Sells Flotto Circus, the largest and most exclusive circus in the world, came to Cranbrook in August of 1926. Traveling from Edmonton and Calgary and Blairmore and Lethbridge, it pulled into town on a day that was always magical for the people of the town. The circus traveled by the trains then, the CPR, and it stopped over at the depot a little further south, just about where the Cranbrook History Center is today. And they'd unload all the animals. This was a big circus, three-ring circus, the big tents. It would eventually set up down by where Mount Baker High School is today. But in the morning they'd unload and the whole town would gather to watch the spectacle. Schools would shut down, businesses would close. All the ladies of the town would put on their best outfits and they'd walk down by the CPR and watch them unload the tigers and the lions and the monkeys and the elephants. Now, that particular day, something went a little wrong. Nobody knows what exactly. We do know that the elephants had stampeded prior to that in Calgary and Edmonton. In fact, in Lethbridge, they'd canceled the parade as they'd done in Cranbrook. The town was very disappointed. There was not going to be a parade. In fact, there was, because 14 elephants over by the CPR station suddenly got spooked and took off in every direction. A number of them came directly down Baker Street here, from one end all the way down to Joseph Creek, and kept going. A few of them headed into the old General Cemetery to chew on the grass, and 3 or 4 of them took off into the hills. There was about 14 of them altogether gone rogue. That day they managed to get most of them back. In fact, they got all but 3 of them. The loss of any elephants was a huge financial blow to the circus. They were well trained, they did tricks, they were a big part of every performance, and the circus needed them back. Unfortunately, the circus had to move on, and move on they did, heading to Fernie the next day. They left a trainer here to help find those elephants that had gone rogue into the hills. The whole event would have been nothing more than a historical footnote, if not for the fact of a CPR telegrapher hearing of the elephants' possible sighting near Yak and sending out a telegram to all points. Now, in 1926, the telegraph was pretty much the equivalent to texting today. And in a modern term, the whole thing went viral overnight. That telegraph made its way across North America, and the town was soon besieged with reporters from as far away as Chicago and Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, coming to Cranbrook to witness the great elephant hunt. There were 3 elephants that headed off into the hills that day: Tilly, Myrtle, and Charlie Ed. The first one, Tilly, was caught just a few days later, and they brought her in. She was in good shape. She hooked up with the circus. The second one was Myrtle, and Myrtle was found out on Moyer Mountain in not good shape. Sadly, not only reporters came, but hunters from all over, hoping to be the first one to actually shoot and kill an elephant in British Columbia. Myrtle herself had been shot a couple times. She had pneumonia, and they actually had to put her down on the site. The last elephant that was found was Charlie Ed, and he was located near Jim Smith Lake. Charlie it was September. He'd been out in the bush for a month, scavenging. The weather was cold. He wasn't in good shape either, but he put up quite a fight when they brought him in. They quartered him at what was called the Arena Rink at the time, which is over near the Cranbrook Public Library. They kept him there, they fed him, they looked after him, and he regained his health. He stayed in Cranbrook for about 2 weeks. He was a big part of the Cranbrook Fall Fair. Just when he had to leave, they walked him down Baker Street here. Mayor T.M. Roberts christened him by pouring a bottle of champagne over his head and declaring him Cranbrook Ed, to which the circus agreed. They put him on a CPR boxcar. The ticket cost about $4,000 in today's money, and he went back to join his circus as Cranbrook Ed. Sadly, Cranbrook Ed went rogue a few years after that. He killed his trainer and he was shot to death by the National Guard in the United States. And that was the end of the great elephant hunt. My name's Jim Cameron, and this has been a Cranbrook History Short.